Renata,
Hey! Oh, how are you?
hey, you?
Oh, fine. Yeah.
Oh, your English is so good.
But I would love to talk with you because how many years?
Or something like,
2011?
oh, really? Okay.
I
I
think,
don't remember.
yeah, I think so. Yeah. How old are you now, Kathy?
78.
Wow, 78. Oh my goodness. My students, they prepared some questions for you.
Yes.
I advise them. It's only a question, not complain. When everything started.
Well, before that, I, um, I read a magazine called Music Educators National Conference magazine. And in that article, there was a very excellent article about Dr. Suzuki coming to America. I think that was in 1960, late 1960s. And so that was my first contact. Then I went to some workshops in Wisconsin, in the Midwest, and there I played string bass. And because, I hadn't even thought about wind instruments yet. I mean, I had, but not officially. And then I continued to go to Suzuki Institutes to learn more about it. I went to Walter Hatterer's music library where he had a very large collection of Suzuki materials and, written by William Starr and those people. John, I can't remember his name. So I started incorporating Suzuki Method into my teaching public school. So I started a music program in a place, Western Massachusetts, and I could do whatever I wanted. So I experimented with Suzuki for flutes and trombones and trumpets, etc.
Wow.
And I could do whatever I wanted. It was fantastic. And it really worked. And I had the better high school kids do the recordings. We used a regular method book. And those children and their parents were extremely cooperative. So by the end of the first year, they could do a really nice concert.
Wow.
And then in public school in other states also, I experimented. I taught a blind boy recorder, and then it really impressed on me the value of the ear because he
Wow.
wasn't note at all. Well, I remember I contacted Bill Starr and Susan Shields, who was working with Bill. Susan had been studying with Suzuki for 7 years in Japan, and finally her parents went to bring her home. And so Bill and Susan let me observe their classes for 6 weeks in Tennessee. So that was a really good experiment for me, experience. So Dr. Suzuki and Mr. Takahashi invited me to go to Japan after I wrote to them in 1972. And that was the, the beginning of the best years of my life.
Wow.
To back up, I went to Japan in 1974. The classes, I did oboe and recorders. And at that time, Toshio Takahashi was the head teacher trainer for all the instruments. But of course, there were specialists for violin or cello or whatever. And of course, he played flutes. So on Mondays, he had concerts. So all of us teacher trainees performed for Dr. Suzuki and for each other. And the practice room was really chaotic. Everybody, all the violins, about 20 trainees were all practicing their different pieces all at the same time. So I ended up practicing up on the top floor so I could hear myself. I could never hear myself in that teacher training room. On Tuesdays, I had my lessons with Mr. Takahashi. Tuesdays, we also had tone development through interpretation, which was focused listening on opera pieces by the best singers and the best instrumental pieces.
Wow.
And that happened on Fridays. A smaller group of us went to Mr. Takahashi's house for more tone development through interpretation. So on the other days, on every day, all the days, we observed other people, adults and children. So observations were a really important part. All of us, no matter what instrument we played, all of us were getting the instruction at the same time. And the piano teacher trainees would have to play these pieces on piano and etc. So it was really excellent training.
So it was interesting because it's all the instruments together, not separate.
Yes, because musical principles are universal, right?
Yes.
I'm sure. I think that the string players may have gotten tired of hearing an oboe and the recorder player.
So you are the only recorder or oboe person in this group, isn't it?
Yes.
And what recorder players did you met all in Japan?
So amazingly, I met Walter von Hau.
There, okay.
There, because he was doing a workshop at Mount Fuji, and he did a nice concert also. Also Kazuo Hanaoka and Ichiro Tada. These teachers, musicians, were extremely kind. In fact, everybody in Japan was extremely kind. Even if I was on a bus or a train, the whole country loved Americans.
So I'm not sure if you mentioned that Suzuki, he played recorder also or not. No.
But you know what? He spent many years in Germany, and Germany and the rest of Europe is very interested in recorder. And so I believe firmly that he attended or he heard the recorder in concerts and in various social opportunities. So respected the recorder.
Okay.
And
so
even
he has a good taste. Yeah. Which year is your first Suzuki recorder student?
I think maybe 1971.
So this year is a celebration, isn't it? Well, 70, am I right? 50 Suzuki Recorder School has a fifth years this year.
These were experiments. So I was using my own repertoire. I wasn't using the repertoire that we have today.
Okay. Yeah, but we have 50 years today. Wow! So I need to buy a cake and celebrate with my students. Yeah.
I was living in San Francisco after I came back in 1980 from the second trip to Japan. And she played a concert indoors at the Golden Gate Park. And I was amazed. And so I went to talk to her after she performed to congratulate her. And then we struck up a friendship. And then for many years, I did private lessons with her whenever she came to the United States and workshops. The San Francisco Early Music Society is really a great organization, and they invited her many, many times to teach and perform. That's a good question. When I first started out teaching, I was performing also on oboe and recorders. And I have a very healthy respect for children. And so I thought, why teach this other stuff? Because it did not stand the test of time. And so since I had already been exposed to Suzuki Method through the media and first-hand contact, I thought to myself, why not give children some repertoire that makes sense and will stand the test of time? Yeah. And also, because of my exposure to the media through the magazine articles and to the live Suzuki teachers like Bill Starr and Susan Shields and other people, I thought, and also just reading the article, I thought learning by ear makes a lot more sense because, going back centuries, that's how people learned, and learning our language through the environment makes sense. And so that was also a major factor in why I developed.
If you listen or if you see some Suzuki recorder students, what do you want to see in order to feel proud of your job,
Well, one thing I expect from teachers and students is continuous studies, and also to try, and also Suzuki parents, also to become better persons.
Yeah.
And I myself am trying to become a better person. Students and teachers and parents, I hope that they become more open-minded about new concepts and new ideas. There's a lot of misinformation about Suzuki Method in the world. For example, some people say that we are teaching robots. And if students can learn to think for themselves, it's really important. So we are not teaching robots.
Yeah.
So all of these concepts refer to our entire life. I don't know if you've heard the expression getting on the bandwagon. That means follow the crowd, even if you think it's wrong.
Yeah. And specific about the teachers, what do you expect of us?
So the same thing is for the parents.
Better person and better teachers.
Yeah, and continuous study.
And continue inspire children, isn't it?
Right. Teachers and parents need to motivate. Some children will be motivated more than others. We all know that. It's nice to have variety. It's nice to see the unmotivated students come up and become motivated.
What's your biggest Suzuki dream?
Well, it would be nice if there were more parent training and that every music teacher in the world complete Philosophia and also through Unit 2, at least, regardless of what instrument they play. There's so much misunderstanding, as you know, about recorder in general.
Yeah.
So the reason I started recorder with low D on soprano is for better hand position.
Yes.
So that the fingers are not flying all over.
Thank you for that. Yeah. And also because the sound is beautiful.
And
for the soprano, yeah.
In Suzuki Method, one thing at a time.
Yeah.
1 point at a time. Yeah, the parents and the teachers and the students can relax when they hear a low D on soprano.
Yeah.
Well, in Suzuki Method, tone, beautiful tone, and expression are very, very important. For example, during my lessons with Mr. Takahashi, sometimes we would spend 40 minutes at each lesson just on tone, improving it, and then 20 more minutes on the repertoire.
Okay.
And I was fine with that. I didn't mind at all because I knew I wanted to become a better performer and teacher. So I was reading some of Mr. Takahashi's notes last night that I had recorded, and he was talking about hungry tone.
Hungry tone.
Well, I was thinking that our spirit, everybody's spirit and heart and soul can be placed into our tone. Everybody has a great variety of different spirits and different soul and different heart and physical capacity also, and the size of our sound box, our mouth.
Yes.
So all of these various topics are really important for tone. Instead of just a shallow, superficial tone, we want a very deep. The Japanese word for deep tone is murasaki, purple, very rich tone. And I know that recorder makers and every recorder, unless it's mass produced, generally speaking, every wood recorder has different capabilities. And so sometimes we're very limited sometimes in our expression or our tone quality or our tone variety or tone color. But I think if parents understand that children deserve the best instruments so that they can succeed as a musician and grow. If we keep them on a $10 recorder for their whole life, and that's one thing that we have to work towards is improving the reputation of recorder makers and recorders. I think public school administrators and public school teachers, even private schools, they need a lot of education, don't they? And the word tradition, some teachers who haven't been trained in Suzuki Method, they'll say, "Oh, we've used this kind of recorder for 40 years, so let's not change." And so that's where education, Suzuki education comes into play. And we can demonstrate all the different kinds of better recorders for the administrators and the teachers to show them what it's capable of. So not only the tone of the recorder, but the ability to articulate, to show our expression and interpretation of the music. We have to become friends of the recorder makers.
Yes, and also we need to educate the students and parents. What is a very good instrument?
Exactly.
Because sometimes it's not the expensive one.
Yes. Yes, that's true. Well, you could do concerts, you could have parties, tell them that when the pandemic is finished, then we'll have another celebration in person.
Yeah.
Be patient.
Very good. Yeah. Very good. We need to do something because it's so special for teachers, students, parents.
I think, Renata, the other thing that Suzuki teachers could do is to write articles about the 50 years history. It's a good idea. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, but you know what, Renata? Music is a universal language. And when I heard your tone, I thought, wow, awesome. She is amazing.
Okay, thank you. Thank you always.
This opportunity to speak with you.
I miss you so much. I always thinking about you because when I was teaching here, this is my studio. So when I was teaching here, I think I'm so happy I can do this because a special person did this for me. It's a gift. So thank you.
You are a gift to me.
Thank you very much, Kathy.
Thank you. And you've had excellent teachers too, I think.
Thank you and take care, please. Okay?
No, thank you. My good.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.